We had a biggest shock in Venezuela. Imagine waking up to the news that should look like impossible. No big war, no months of fighting, just one night. We have a silent operation and whew, the president of Venezuela is gone, disappeared, captured by the American forces on his own land and flown away. Stop and think about that. If US can walk into a sovereign country, grab a protected leader and leave without a scratch, the old rules of the world are dead, completely gone. For the average person, it's just a headline. But for every leader in the Middle East, this isn't news. It is the sound of upcoming disaster. Before we continue, let's see what the president had to say about this.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years.
So he is just clarifying about these points. Now let's move ahead.
So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because that's what we're all about. As everyone knows, the oil business...
Now I want you to focus on what he is about to say.
...in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
The U.S. running the country mean that U.S.
So what that means is that US would take over the Venezuela and the Venezuela's oil reserves, one of the greatest. Now what does that mean, that US is going to take the oil reserves? The oil shield is completely broken now. Now this is the Venezuelan president, if you had seen him. The golden shield of the Arab world has just been shattered. Now why am I saying that? Why does a capture in the South America matter to the Arab in the Gulf? It comes down to one thing: oil. Venezuela has the largest oil reserve on the planet. It is bigger than the Saudi Arabia. For 80 years, Arab world had a golden shield. And that shield was, America needs oil, so America must protect us. Okay? That shield has just been shattered. With Venezuela under the control, the US controls the biggest oil tap in the world. They do not need Gulf anymore. And when that superpower doesn't need your resources, they stop caring about your survival. If we can move ahead and I can show you in the map where Venezuela is. It's in the South America. Definitely the South America. You can see this is a Venezuela country next to Colombia. Colombia has already been making statements now about US and how bad the situation is. Now here is the United States of America. This has been the renamification of Gulf of Mexico now to Gulf of America, and now this is the Venezuela. There are the huge oil reserves around it. Okay, there are huge oil reserves which are surrounding Venezuela. Now US takes all of them, all of this, and what it means: independence from the Gulf. This is the region of Gulf. Here is Israel, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman. This was the mapification, the idea of mapping where Venezuela is. It's the country in the South America. Now US came from here and landed here, took their president and went back. Now, let's go forward. Why is Venezuela important or significant for the Arab world? It's important because the silence has bought the Arab world nothing. Silence didn't buy safety. It bought a ticket to be next in the line. This brings us to the most important and painful truth. When the Gaza was burning, when the Palestine was screaming, the Arab world stayed silent. Why? Because they thought silence would buy them safety. Silence means safety. So they kept their heads down and the oil kept flowing from the Arab world. And it was like telling the West, leave us alone. We're gonna supply you money, we're gonna supply you oil, and let's be happy. By this, they expected that the West would never point finger at Arab monarchy, which included their dictatorship. But oh boy, they were all wrong. They stayed silent when someone came for their neighbor's house, thinking the fire wouldn't reach them. But now with the oil leverage gone, they are just as vulnerable as Palestine. It's important to mention the Palestine are also they are also Arabs. They speak the same language and they have the same culture. The silence didn't buy them safety, it just bought them to be next in the line. And what's going to happen, we're gonna discuss it very clearly. Before we move ahead, I have something to show you from a very old speech in 2008 which is going viral around the internet right now. Let's carefully look and analyze it.
شو سبب تدمير العراق وغزو العراق وقتل مليون عراقي؟ وخلص لقانا الامريكان يجاوبونا على السؤال اللي حاير، لماذا العراق؟ شو سبب العراق؟
Why Iraq? What is the reason?
بن لادن عراق.
Is Bin Laden Iraqi? No, he's not.
ما عراق، إذا هربوا نيويورك عراقيين.
Those who attacked New York Iraqis, though they were not.
اللي هربوا البنتاغون عراقيين، ما هم عراقيين. فيها أسلحة دمار شامل عند العراق وما عنده. وحتى لو عند العراق أسلحة دمار شامل، باكستان عندها قنبلة ذرية والهند عندها قنبلة ذرية والصين وروسيا وبريطانيا وفرنسا.
He's talking about different countries and nuclear weapons. If weapon of mass destruction WMD was the reason, why aren't these countries which are having much bigger weapons like the nuclear weapons being attacked? No, I need not to tell you that, but I'm going to show you something very interesting. One second.
صدام حسين كيف يصير حرب يشرب ورئيس دولة عربية عضو الدولة العربية؟ كيف تتكلموا عن سياسة صدام حسين؟ ويدمر كل الدول اللي عندها أسلحة ماسة. شي قوة جديدة كان دولة عربية وتشرف رئيسها.
Along comes a foreign power occupying the Arab world and president. And we sit on side.
وليش ما يحققوا شنقة صدام حسين؟
Talk about nothing here, and I'm going to show you here.
ليش ما ليش؟
You see, he's talking about nothing, and I'm telling you.
ليش ما يكون فيها؟
This is Bashar al-Assad, by the way. He is laughing in 2008, and he was just, you read about in the news in Syria, when there was a coup in Syria, and he was removed. I don't know if he survived or not, but he is laughing, he's just having fun in 2008. But he was removed, he's kidding, he's joking. We will be removed, we can never be removed, We have strong backings. Now, see what Gaddafi says.
ليش ما يكون فيها تحقيق في مقتل صدام حسين؟ قيادة عربية بكامل تقتل تشنق في المشانق نحن نتفرج، لماذا؟
We sit on sideline, why?
وممكن الدور جاي عليكم كلكم.
Any of you might be next.
نعم.
And look it again.
ممكن الدور جاي عليكم كلكم. نعم. ليش امريكا قاتلت مع صدام حسين ضد الخميني؟ كان صديقها. تشيني كان صديق لصدام حسين. رامز فلدي كان وزير دفاع الامريكا لما كان يدمروا في العراق، صديق حميم لصدام حسين، واخيرا باعوه وشنقوه. حتى انتم اصدقاء امريكا، نحن اصدقاء امريكا، بلاش نقول انتم، نحن اصدقاء امريكا كلنا. قد توافق امريكا على شنقنا في يوم ما.
You see, he is telling that any of us will be hanged, and they are just, just having the Arab rulers this is a video of 2008, they are laughing at him. They are saying this is a madman, and the man himself, the Bashar al-Assad, you see, he is laughing at that period of time, and they're saying we will be hanged. And then he tells them that Saddam Hussein had very good relations with America. He even fought wars for America. He fought with Iran, Khomeini, at that period of time, and they still sidelined him. They still went after him, even after having good relations with America. Okay, now as you can see, the condition of Arab leaders, we will cover some of the history which led to the formation of Arab nations. Definitely you should watch out that series as well. They were formed after the current regime rulers had betrayed the last bastion of Muslim world. And yes, we are talking about the mighty Ottomans. So these tiny Arab states, it used to be a mighty Ottoman empire, and the rulers currently, you know about it, they had some other plans in action, and they united with the British Raj, if you know about colonialism and British Raj, and they fought and they broke the Ottoman Empire. We will have a separate video for it. That's why you should subscribe to our channel, and we will continue talking about it, since the topic needs quite a detail to understand history and the geopolitics of it. It's a very complex topic of Middle East, but we are trying to simplify it. We are trying to understand it, what is now going to happen. Now we see that US will become independent of Middle East. Israel is now free. The greater Israel nightmare and the Qatar's warning. Now what's it all about? The dream of greater Israel is no longer a theory. It's now a green lit plan. Now that America is free from the Arab oil pressure, what holds Israel back? What holds Israel back? Absolutely nothing. The leash is cut. They used to listen to America, not to mess around too much, because America was dependent on the Middle East oil. But now it is not dependent. And what does it leave Middle East with? It leaves with Israel. The Israel which is completely unleashed. Israel which wants to make some historical paradise. We don't know what they want to make. The leash is cut. The dream of greater Israel expanding to their borders across the Middle East is no longer a conspiracy theory. It was a conspiracy theory if somebody had talked it 10 or 15 years ago. It's now in the mainstream politics, mainstream people. The people who are in the mainstream in the Israel politics are talking about it. It's a greenlit plan. Now look at the recent attack on Qatar. And if you don't know about Greater Israel, let me show you that. If we can just zoomify it. Can we zoomify it? Yes, we can zoomify it. And if I can show you, this is Syria. Okay. This Syria is already dead. After the collapse of Assad regime, you had some puppet installed by US, Jolani. And what happened is some of the Israel already had control of Golan Heights here. There was a region of here, Golan Heights, which was captured by Israel during Israel and Syria's war. They captured more of that area. So some more of area of Syria is under the control of Israel. They have also destroyed the Syrian navy. As soon as the collapse happened in the Syria, as soon as the Assad regime was toppled, the Syrian army was dismantled. The Syrian navy was demolished. So there was F-35 flown from here to destroy all the important military installations. So Syria is gone. Iraq was already gone. So now you are making sense that 2002, why Iraq? Why Iran? Iraq didn't have Saddam Hussein, as you saw in the video about Gaddafi when he was killed. Lebanon is gone. Libya is gone. Libya, the Gaddafi. Jordan, he's just a king puppet. You can see the king is a very nice man, as the Trump says. So you can see the major neighbors here from here are gone. They are gone. They are dead. They are completely dead. Now what remains? This portion is already dead now. By dead I mean there is no resistance as sort. Egypt, Israel already had defeated Egypt. They had captured this area of Sinai Peninsula. This is Sinai Peninsula of Egypt. But Egypt reclaimed it back after some treaty and negotiation which went on. And which went on with the recognition of Israel. At that period, Israel needed recognition from the Arab world. Egypt recognized Israel and Israel returned their territory. And you can see this Greater Israel plan doesn't end here. It has this huge landmass. Then this is Saudi Arabia. This land is of the Saudi Arabia, the big player. So when they are going to go for it, it's just a matter of time, because Iraq gone, Syria gone, Lebanon gone, Jordan dismantled, not even needed, and Egypt not even in the cards, and we have Saudi Arabia now, only remaining thing. Now let's go back, and yes, here is the Iran, which we will talk about in a moment. So there is nothing. This is no longer a conspiracy. Now look at the recent attack on the Qatar. That was the test. Israel stuck with precision, and the Arab world barely blinked. They couldn't even blink. Arab world is completely gone. It's dead. It has no resistance. It proved that there are no red lines anymore. So Israel, by attacking the Qatar, it's one of the richest places. Go and check YouTube. You will find out how much luxury is in Qatar. So if they can attack a very rich nation like Qatar, what stops them from expanding further? Nothing, obviously. So the bar has been set terrifyingly high, as we repeat. We can do whatever we want to whoever we want. That is what Israel thinks right now. And the message has been clearly stuck. The illusion of alliances. Now, relying on alliances is like trying to stop a tsunami with a paper umbrella. If we just can watch video for some time. Now, I hope we are not copyrighted for this.
What is Greater Israel? Now imagine Israel occupying Palestinian territories such as Gaza and the West Bank, then Lebanon.
Yeah, is occupying Gaza, West Bank, where do Palestinians go, we don't know. But yeah, they occupy there. Greater Israel doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop at Palestine.
And most of Syria, including Damascus,
yeah, Syria we discussed in the map. I had showed you clearly Lebanon, Syria.
Portion of southern Turkey, western Iraq.
And even they have Turkey in mind. That's crazy.
Jordan.
Jordan. Wow. Yeah, Jordan is
northern Saudi Arabia.
Kuwait, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia.
Kuwait and some parts of Egypt. Covering.
That's mighty. That's a Greater Israel. That's mighty Israel. Some of you might say, but we have allies. So after the attack on Qatar, you saw that Saudi Arabia making a pact with Pakistan. And you might be thinking, no, they are now stronger players together. It's not simple to attack Saudi Arabia. But let's be honest and let's be real. Look at Venezuela. Venezuela was backed by Russia. It was backed by China. These are the big players. These are the big giants. Yet when the Americans landed, did Putin send jets? Did Xi Jinping send ships? No, they did nothing. If the Russian bear and the Chinese dragon together cannot save their key ally, do you really think that Pakistan, a small fish in a tiny ocean they are, can they save Gulf? No, they cannot save Gulf by any choice. So relying on these alliances is like trying to stop a tsunami with a paper umbrella. You cannot stop a tsunami that's coming your way with a paper umbrella. And we talked about the powerful backing of US and how powerful the US will be after getting control of Venezuelan oil. They would be mighty powerful. And this also has shown us that Russia and China, however big they might be seeming, the paper tigers we call them, they are not no match to the US military and the US assets. So what did Venezuela incident reveal about the reliability of major power alliances? We just discussed it. If you want, we have no direct military intervention to prevent US operation, so you can just answer it. Now Tehran's turn. US can now choke Iran out and without firing a bullet, or worse. And what is the worst case scenario we are going to discuss? It's Tehran's turn now, it's Iran's turn now. After Venezuela comes Iran, comes Tehran, the capital. Before we talk about it, I want to show you some video. That's a very interesting thing. And it's real, it's not alien stuff. It's a very costly stuff. How does it even fly? No wings. Really? Seems like spaceship. Okay, so what you saw, this is B-2 bomber, and we saw that America used it attacking the Iran's nuclear facility at Fordo. So Fordo was attacked using B-2 bomber earlier this year. But what follows next might be unprecedented. To the supreme leader in Iran, the message is personal. The US just proved they don't need a messy invasion to win. They can just remove the head. Iran has been feeling safe, thinking a war is too costly for the US. They're thinking we are safe because US cannot invade us. The war is too costly. But if the US controls Venezuelan oil, they can choke Iran out without firing a bullet. They can force the nations which are buying oil from Iran to not buy oil from Iran but buy it from US, because they have the Venezuelan resources. They are gonna sell those resources. They're gonna exploit Venezuelan nation for some reason, for this reason obviously, or worse, the strike the leadership directly like they did in the Caracas. So they have a lot of choices now. They have a lot of options. They can play with any of the option. It's like you have a lot of cards to play with. You can play with any of the cards now. You have a lot of cards. You can either choke them out, you can apply more sanctions. You don't even need to rely on Middle East's oil now. So you can force other nations to buy US oil. And even Trump had said that Putin can buy the oil from US. What does this leave us with? After discussing so much geopolitics, after discussing so much, what can happen in future and what are the repercussions for the Arab world, you might be knowing that the things are not going to go good for Arabs, and definitely not for the Arab world. After this is a terrifying reality for the Arab world which they are waking with. The attack happened in Venezuela, but it struck the heart of Arab world. The story that started in Venezuela might be ending in, Middle East. Who knows? The Arab is waking up to a terrifying reality. Arabs, the Americans don't need them. The Russians won't help them. And their silence on Palestine has left them morally bankrupt and strategically alone in the Muslim world. The question isn't, will the map change? Map is already changing. The question you need to ask yourself is simple. Now that they have crushed the distant enemy, how long before they come for the silent friends?